Hey folks, what's up? This is Evan from Stock Music Musician, and in this video, I'm going to have 10 tricks for you to turn your beat into a full song. These are 10 things you can do on any song to make it into a full and complete song. How you can turn just a simple 8-bar loop into a full track. So what we're going to do is I'm going to break it down for each of these sections, offer some suggestions for how you can easily turn just one idea into many different parts that will keep a listener's interest over the course of a song. This song here is very much not even a real song. This is a just series of ideas that you can use to draw inspiration from. So let's start out just by listening to the basic part of the song. Before I go farther, though, I do want to let you know that if you're interested in making some money from your music by getting into music licensing, I've got a free 5-day music licensing crash course. There's a link down below you can check out, and hopefully you can turn your beats into something even more, into some money in your pocket. So let's just listen to the main part of the song so we can see where the song started and how you can stretch it into a full song by using these different sections and techniques to build out one idea. So, let's listen. So let's say that was my 8-bar loop there. Well, first of all, you notice that I've got I could have had all of these melodies playing the whole time and all of these percussion parts playing the whole time, but that already would be fuller, too full perhaps. So one of the best ways to just turn an 8-bar loop into a full song is by not throwing everything at the listener immediately. Let's listen to it with all the parts now fully in, and you'll see how much better it is when they come in selectively. So the first thing, like I said, is just not to introduce all of the parts all at once. It's not to say that these, by the time you get to the end of the song, can't all be there, but you're building up the song. You're taking somebody on a journey over 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Don't throw everything at the wall at the beginning. Don't shoot your wad too soon. That's the first rule. Easiest way you can add a little bit more time to the beginning of your song or your loop and make it feel like more of a song is by adding an intro to your beat. I've got an entire lesson that is 5 different ways to create an intro to your song. I'll put a link to that, or you can up top or down below, and that'll teach you really in depth. But the first way to do it is just an intro. And for this intro, I took the bass and the guitar part, put that at the very beginning, didn't write a new part, did a little bit of a fade in, and just took the very last few hits of the drum to create a drum fill. Super easy way to create an intro, but it creates way more space and movement for your song. Let's listen. That's way number 2 to get your beat into a full song. Have the parts of a song. Another part of a song that you can use that really works well is a drum and bass break. So here we're going to have the bass and the drums just kind of go together. Let's listen to that. And we've got the guitar too, actually, here. So that makes it sound a lot like it's just a contrast. The order of these parts are not important to the lesson, right? You could go straight from the intro to the drum and bass break. That's how you could do it. You could do a drum and bass break after the chorus. But I just want to show you the contrast between when we come from this first main part into the drum and bass break, and you'll hear how it really is a useful part. Again, this third way, you're not writing anything new. You're just rearranging stuff in a creative way. So by subtracting and focusing on the fundamental rhythm of your track, you can create a whole new section and extend your beat, especially if you've got some percussion parts that add a little bit more of a syncopated rhythm. The next way is by using a chopping plugin. Here I'm using Reason Synchronous. iZotope's got a great one called Beat Tweaker. There are several other chopping plugins out there. I do like the iZotope one. I'll put a link down to that below if you want to check it out. And basically what this is going to do is automatically kind of stutter the drums, is how I've got it set up. So it'll create more interest on the drum part without having me, again, to write a new part, to write drum fills, anything like that. So we've taken the drum break and now we're breaking the break even more by turning this beat chopper on. So we'll play the chop and then we'll play the drum and bass break into the chop. So this song is not mixed. That chop definitely took the volume of the drums down a little bit. And so when you mix, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you volume match all of these stages so that the parts flow smoothly to each other, into each other. But this fourth way can be a really fun, interesting way of making a break even more interesting. So let's go from the regular break into the chopped break. The next thing you can do is by using a pad breakdown. So this is sort of like, instead of the drums and the bass, it's kind of the opposite. We're using the slow, long elements here. We're using the pads and some of the leads, and we've lost kind of most of the rhythm elements. But I'll introduce a new element, the tambourines, to kind of fill everything in. And this will help with keeping the energy in the song. You'll also notice that the tambourine fades in. So fade-ins just across instruments as they're introduced is another really great way to turn a beat into a full song, because it easily adds interest as your ear anticipates where that next part comes in. It's a really easy thing to do. So let's listen now to this pad break, going from the chop. You see how nice that was? Again, these are the same elements that the song has been using all along. And if you had a few more ideas in your main loop, you could extend this even farther. I'm making these sections all super short, but these breaks could be longer, they could be more developed. The chops could be longer, the drum break could be longer, especially if you wrote a few little fills and other parts, used some transitional elements like whooshes, or some foley, some voiceovers. These tools can really help enhance the interest of a song. The next way you can turn a beat into a loop is by using filtering. So this could be a filter sweep. It could be using, here I'm using a plugin that comes native to Reason called Audiomatic. It's a really cool plugin. I'm using the wash setting and I'm automating the transformation. It could just be a simple high and low pass filter. And I'm using this on the pad breakdown, but you could try this technique anywhere. It'll sound good and it'll add interest. So this is just something you add on top of different sections. So let's listen to the filtered version. We'll come out of the pad break into the filtering section. So you hear how that's sort of going, right? Just like that. And that is making the section sound more interesting. It's building up interest. The next one I'm going to do is give you a little bonus tip, and that is to have fills into each new section. So you hear the drum part go bat-tat-tat-tat. That's not the sound of, that's not what this fill is, but you'll hear a drum fill before the next section comes in. And you'll also notice that on the end of a lot of these sections, I've got these little like final note hits. So like if we come out of here, how there was a bump, a kick drum there. Having one note from the previous instrument that drops out or that is about to come in really helps these sections and all of these techniques work together. It helps you put them together. So we've got the filtering section. The next section is just a key change. So what you do is you can transpose the notes that you've got, even if you don't understand much musical theory. Just try, like if it's an audio file, many of them will have the ability just to transpose, boom, bap. Try moving until it sounds like it's something interesting. You don't need to know that much about it, music. Or if you got MIDI here, just drag everything up a few, down a few until it sounds good. Usually -2 sounds good. -4, or no, +4 can sound good. -5 can sound good. It's really going to depend on your song. It's not music theory, but just a place to start is -2, which is what I did here. Basically down 2 semitones. So let's listen to this key change. Again, not writing a new part, just shifting the notes down, but not shifting the notes of the drums, because then you will it'll just get weird and artifacty. So from the filtering section, with the drum fill. So key change is a really easy way to add more interest. And then finally is a climax section, which can be a lot like the beginning section, but just with more parts in it. So here we've got tambourine, unlike we did originally. We've got the percussion going all the way through. And kind of like we had said at the beginning, how you didn't want to blow your wad by including everything the whole time. When you get to the climax, you can do it because it's already been heard before in the song, so they already know what's going on, and it's not surprising to have it. Instead, it's just even more energy, more buildup. So let's go from the key change now into the climax. And you notice on the climax, the key changes back to the original key. So I could have kept it at the key changed key, or you can bring it back. What makes the key change interesting is that you move, but you can move back. And you can do it, you can move there, you can move back multiple times in the song. That'll keep it building interest. And the last thing, before I give you a few bonus points, is just to have an ending, right? And basically, the best way to do the ending is just to chop what's at the very beginning of a beat, right here. Single drum hit, boom, let's listen. Really easy. These are, 10 ways? What did I say? 10 plus maybe a bonus way or two to do it. To turn a beat into a loop, like I said, if you want to learn how to make money from your beats, I really recommend music licensing. I've made, probably well over $10,000, maybe close to $20,000 at this point over the past 5 or 6 years doing music licensing, turning my beats into full songs and then putting them out there, licensing them. Check out my free crash course on that. If you've got any questions, tips, tricks on how you like to turn a beat into a full song, please let me know in the comments. And here's the one more bonus tip I've got for you. And that is by using one-shots. These can either be vocal things that you create on your own, samples you get from places like Splice, wherever it is, and just occasionally inserting a really distinct one-shot sample can make parts that you've heard a lot before sound fresh. So let's listen to the chop again, and now I've unmuted this really weird thing I did with my voice, but maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Find a better one-shot. In any event, one-shots can break up the monotony. Or if we go here. Probably not the right one shot for this song, but it is what it is. So don't forget the idea of adding in just the occasional vocal sample, vocal chop to really create interest. So now what I'm just going to do for you is play my way out. I'm going to turn the song on from beginning to end so you can kind of see how it all stacks up, how it all works together. Honestly, there are enough ideas here for a much longer song. You do not have to do all of these ideas or use all of these techniques in each of your songs. I would pick and choose 3 or 4 of them and build out a full song, have the parts go a little bit longer and develop slower, but I just really wanted to get everything kind of in one spot that moved quickly in front of you guys today for teaching purposes. So let's take a listen. There you go, taking a pretty repetitive and straightforward idea, stretching it out into a full song. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.